Hey, what up, guys? Nick here, and I was just inspired this morning to come at you with a quick little concept video where I just express a little piece of philosophy of mine that I was thinking about today that I feel like could be helpful for me to share to some people. I feel like there are definitely plenty of people who are at the stage in their life where this advice could be helpful and useful to them. And hopefully, some of you who are ready to hear this kind of advice, stumble across this video and find it and hear what I have to say and maybe are inspired a little bit. Maybe my little piece of philosophy here today can inspire and kindle a little fire in your heart. And if I can do that, that's all I could ask for from this video. And the topic of the video today is just kind of self care and grooming. The ways that we look after ourselves and what I've realized about taking care of myself and more specifically my self image and how I view myself and how I choose to present myself in the world and how that's changed as I've neared the age of 30. I think it's a little ironic and it's on purpose, that I'm coming here on this video today with, hair not done up at all. I'm clean and I'm fresh, but I'm not groomed to, not slicked back to go dancing on the town or anything. And if I had anything to do today, in public, I would probably just go out this way. I might throw a beanie on top because it's cold, but, and that's on purpose that I've come on video today looking this way because it demonstrates my philosophy and how my philosophy on these things has changed as the years have gone by. It's no secret to anyone, least of all myself, that I'm a young man with a fairly receding hairline, and it used to bother me. I used to be way more worried about my hair when I still had plenty of it and a great hairline and long, luscious hair. Before I knew for a fact, but I suspected that I was, uh, you know, beginning to experience the very first stages of receding hairline and male pattern baldness or whatever you would call it. And when I was living down in Mississippi, I had a barber, a hair, what would you call it? A female hairdresser, just tell me outright when I asked her as she was cutting my hair, yeah, you do have, you're definitely losing hair. You have a receding hairline, and it'll keep going on. And this particular woman, well meaning as she was, told me, just get on Rogaine, do it the rest of your life. You can never stop using it, but it'll work. And I felt a little emotional having confirmation, but really having the confirmation after I marinated on that for a little while and mulled it over, I pretty quickly came to a couple of decisions. All right, my hair is receding. I'm not going to use Rogaine, and I'm not going to butcher my hair up and shave it and cut it super short. At least not for other people. If I decide to do that, I will. And I have shaved my head before. Shaved my head right around that time period. Um, Only because it's hard to keep your hair from being greasy in the South. I noticed that every picture I was taking, my hair looked greasy and, not great. So I did shave my hair and I promptly grew it back. Anyways, this isn't the hairline and hair grooming advice video, but this was one of my first revelations along the journey to my current self care philosophy. And after getting work benefits, including vision and dental, I started to look after those things more carefully. And of course, I've been lucky that I haven't had any vision or dental disasters, but I've sort of formulated this own, my own, um, standard and philosophy of grooming and presenting myself, um, that follows, along the lines of what I'm gonna title this video, something along the lines of, harvest your health and cultivate your comfort, but don't performatively prepare, you know what I mean? I like the way that I look and I like the way I style myself, and it goes beyond just I do it for me, not for you, but I genuinely there's a kernel of truth in that too. Um, I look after my teeth and my eyes, and I'm working towards making sure that all of my health stuff is where it should be. As I sort of wear out of that 20s magic and into the realities of my 30, but at the same time, um, I no longer worry so much about styling myself for other people. If something comes across my mind and it seems like I would groom myself, or I would, change something about, my way of speaking or my way of presenting myself just so that other people feel more, um, will act more superfluously good to me just because I look a little better to them. I think twice about it. I think whether I really want to go to the effort. And of course, look, I'm not saying I'm the master of Zen indifference. I want to look attractive to women, and we all do certain things with our behavior and our appearance that caters to the expectations of other people. So I'm not sitting here telling you I don't do any of that. But I've developed a marked ability to not immerse myself in every little expectation that other people think, being completely disconnected from it, um, in a way that enables me to just cut through some of that fat because I don't think anybody needs to be constantly mulling over having to sort of suffocate their natural reactions or their natural state of being where they feel most comfortable, or having to walk on eggshells over, the opinions and ways that other people would treat them, uh, in a group of people whose opinions you don't really respect that much and who aren't going to significantly respect or appreciate you more, even if you do go out of your way to try and appeal to their sense of vanity. What I'm saying is, you're going to find your people, at least I've found that I've found my people, regardless of whether I go out of my way to make sure that my naturally frizzy hair is completely combed back and slicked and or completely shorn short so that other people don't feel uncomfortable with the look of my hairline. Yeah, some people are going to think I probably look homeless, but if I looked completely slicked back and shorn up, um, those people probably aren't the type of people whose respect I want, anyways. And the people whose respect and companionship I do want, again, they're not going to make too much bones between whether my hair's a little ruffled and in its natural, unkempt state, which is natural for it, whether it's clean or not, or whether I'm wearing some baggy clothes that might have a little, some wrinklage in them, but again, are clean clothes. The people whose respect and companionship I want naturally respect me for who I am and the relationship we cultivate between each other. So yeah, I just want to loop back to what I'll title this video, something like, we've got to harvest our health, we've got to be aware of what we're eating, and I'm not the master of that. Sometimes I try to do something I think is good for my health, like drinking orange juice, only to realize, hey, the vitamins I'm getting are accompanied by a ton of fucking sugar, like a soda's worth of sugar, and I reformulate. I try and do things that are difficult or unusual for my regular habits, but ultimately benefit my health, and I try to cultivate my comfort too. I've made upgrades to my glasses when I can afford it and justify it to myself, and I've used my at work benefits, something I'd recommend to anybody. If you work hard, and we all work hard, this video is not about laziness. It's actually, if anything, I recommend you guys to engage in what people tell you is laziness a little more often, because I don't believe that most of you out there are probably lazy people or don't work hard for what you have. Um, but you definitely should do what you can to extract the maximum value out of your job, whatever you do in life. Look at your workplace benefits for vision, dental, and health, because if you already qualify for those things and you're just a little bit afraid of jumping through paperwork hoops and having to deal with that kind of shit, if you don't have it now and you have a W-2 30 to 40 hour a week job, you may as well get those benefit packages. They might not be everything you could have asked for, but you can get more than you get now for way cheaper than you would shell out of pocket. Um, and that's pretty much my message to you guys today. I think that it's super easy for us to be disconnected from ourselves and get a sense of self-consciousness about ourselves, just because we see, as with so many other things, we see the extreme lengths that other people go to. But you have to look at, comparatively, people who try super hard all the time to appeal to other people's sense of vanity. And in a sense, these people have internalized other people's vain expectations for themselves. What kind of a return do they get on their personal happiness? Typically, I don't see it being significant, or I see it being negative even. I want to scream at people sometimes that you're not getting anything from, and you're definitely detracting from your own level, your own measure of happiness in your life by going completely out of your way, and God forbid, throwing tons of money towards essentially trying to fit in. If you don't, um, look, if you have to be around a group of people, they're gonna eventually accept if you're just a little bit or even a lot bit skewed from how they think you should conduct yourself. Outside of being grossly offensive and unhygienic in your appearance and in your behavior, grossly offensive. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not telling you guys not to shower or brush your teeth. I'm encouraging you to do these things and be clean. That's a priority for me. But again, if I have a 7 a.m. shift at work, sometimes, I get up, I sleep in, it's hard for me to get up because I'm a closer at work. I'm usually more like a 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. And so sometimes I go to work not looking too much differently from this. I might give that hair a comb through, I might put some water on it and try to slick it back. But at the end of the day, I might go to work on an early shift looking like this. And back to what I was saying, if you have to be around people, you can get them used to you putting forth a level of effort that is not comfortable for you, that stresses you out, but you do it for the sake of other people, and they'll come to accept you that way. And you better keep it up, because if you inflate people's expectations of you acting or looking a certain way, and you ever want to come in putting in less effort, people are going to notice. And, if they think you have a weak um, sense of self-respect and pride that's hinged on always looking glossy and a lot, women especially, I've noticed, to be honest with you guys, I'm going to keep it real with you, hold each other to a standard of looking and acting like a girly pop. But you don't always feel like a girly pop, and you don't always want to put in the effort towards looking like a girly pop. I'm being a little hyperbolic here, but I'm talking about everybody. On the other hand, I don't have a problem getting respect from my coworkers, even though, and usually I comb my hair and I try to slick it back and have my hair look like the hairstyle that I got, a haircut to look like I have a specific hairstyle that this hair goes into when I'm trying to dress myself up. But at the same time, I have friends at work, I have personal life friends from outside of work, and I'm very respected at work for the efforts that I put in, whether I might look a little bit ruffled or not, and whether or not my pattern of speech might be a little different than other people's, for the fact that I've lived in the South for a while and I also speak Spanish, so sometimes my language patterns go in a weird way that's a little different from, the local vernacular that people are used to. Um, and I don't take those things super seriously because, again, ultimately, people get used to how you present yourself. Either way, you are not gonna be completely shunned and disavowed and disallowed from participating in society because you don't tweak every little thing to be maximally appealing to other people. You're going to find your people, and you're going to find a greater sense of comfort if you take care of things behind the scenes, make sure you're healthy, make sure you feel good, and make sure you look in a way that you feel like looks good. But, beyond that, don't let other people's expectations or their words dictate how you behave. That's what I would tell you guys. Um, or at least recommend try out this sort of philosophy about how you conduct yourself in the world, because you might just find that it's a domino chain that leads you to greater comfort, greater ease of operating in the world, and you might just find that your whole lifestyle kind of shifts when you shift your focus away from, as cliche as it is, looking good and looking like you have your shit together, to actually having your shit together and feeling good. It doesn't have to be one or the other, but sometimes people sacrifice too much of the surface level impression and they forget, and sacrifice some of what actually helps them to feel good and live good. So, hey, if you got a little bit of value or a good, warm, fuzzy feeling out of this video, that's all I could ask you guys for. That's all I could hope for out of doing this kind of work. Um, Guys, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see from this channel. And check out whatever else is on the channel. I've got some shorts, I've got more videos, and there's more to come. So thanks again for watching this, you guys. If you stuck through the whole video, I greatly appreciate it. I'm moving my face around because my camera quality and lighting situation seems to be really interesting on this video. Darker than I think they have been. You guys gotta let me know if there's a certain camera angle and quality I've done so far that looks better than the others. I'm tweaking my whole setup. It's been a month since I recorded a real video, so you guys bear with me and give me as much feedback as you have for me. I'm not afraid to hear what you guys have to say and try to implement all sorts of wacky different concepts and tech formats in my video. So yeah, guys, leave me some feedback below, and thanks for watching. Bye.